asset is being volatile again because crypto is going down. Why is it doing that? I mean, doesn't crypto know that it's 2025 and it's supposed to be going up because, time just tells crypto what to do? We gotta talk about the bloodbath in the market going on right now as we speak. Also, we have a serious problem with misinformation about global M2. In fact, it's so bad, I think I'll even refer to it as piss information, and it is coming from supposedly very intelligent people. And man, I'm learning that the people I thought were intelligent are not very intelligent. Also, coming up on a future stream, I have managed to get one of our dissenters to agree to come on a stream here with me. I'll tell you who and what we're going to talk about when he does come on the stream. And also, what in the holy heck is going on with the Root Network? It had some pops today that just came out of nowhere. All this and more. I'm Cairo Copeland. This is Reinvent Ideal. And you are watching Shut the FUD Up. Hey, yo, I got something I want to say. But first, let's do a little survey out there. I'm feeling like my inner Scott Hall today here. So I want to do a survey. Like if y'all saw what Bill Ackman had to say to young men today about how to pick up girls, and you saw the level of cringe coming from perhaps the most boomer advice from the most boomerest boomer ever to boomer in the history of boomery, well, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. So here's what I'm going to do for you guys, all right? You guys tell me in the chat. I see y'all are starting to pile in now. You guys tell me in the chat if you want me to do this here. Do you want me to give you some good advice about how to talk to girls? You want me to do that? Because I can do that. That was what my business was a while back, all right? Before I started doing all this streaming right here, before I really came public in the crypto community, and before I started writing books about it, I was writing books about how troubled young men can live better lives, and part of living better lives is getting good with women. So if you want me to share with you my opener or my pickup line, I'll do that. But y'all tell me in the chat there that that's what you want to do, okay? Now, we've got some very important things here to cover. The first thing is the absolute bloodbath going on in the markets right now as we speak. I should do this here first thing before I do this up. I want to say a very special thank you to YouTube because they undeleted my other channel. I got another YouTube channel that gives you samples of chapters from all of my other audiobooks. They abruptly deleted it for no good reason. I complained, and they undeleted it. So thank you, YouTube, for doing the right thing, but also screw you for doing the wrong thing to begin with. But let's get back to the subject, all right? Starting with the things that we always check here whenever I go on stream. How is the market doing? It is doing absolutely terrible. Look at this horrific bloodbath. Oh, we just can't take it. So the volatile asset is being volatile. Look at all this. It's all over. Why is crypto doing this? I mean, doesn't crypto know that it is now the year 2025 and it's supposed to go up this year? Because 4-year cycle, right? That's what the 4-year fundamentalists would have you believe. I've got some very key insights on that specifically that I'm going to share with you on today's stream. But let's take a look here at this chart, because there's something very telling here to me about this chart. Because you got to remember, see, 2025, that started right here. Or not right there, but can't really get it. Okay, right here. We were at a total market cap of $3.32 trillion. Now we're just at $3.2 trillion, so we are officially lower in market cap than we were at the start of 2025, when you've got an overall loss in the year What kind of year do we call that? Do we call that a bull market year or do we call that a bear market year? I call that bear market. And I also say, hey guys, brace yourself. It is going lower before it goes higher because this year, nothing good is going to happen. This whole year, thankfully, only 45 days left in it, but the whole year is just going to suck. Because, man, look at this here. Like, you know, even the index itself that we would use to kind of like judge where is the overall market at, it's down 5% from where it started the year. Because it started at 203, and now it's at 190. And the thing about like the crypto cap 100 index is that for the most part, these are just the 100 projects that are considered investable. It doesn't include any stable coins or anything. Like if you listen to Lark Davis, he says that there's only about 100 projects out there in crypto that are investable or are, I guess, like investments that could be considered like as good as mega cap stocks in that sense. I think that's kind of what he's getting at, but yeah, what I kind of agree with him on is that, yeah, well, I don't like all 100 of the coins on here. I don't like all of these coins, even though I'm one of these guys that like invests a little bit into everything. I do kind of agree that, hey, it's very rare that you should ever go outside of the top 100 in coins. I think like really the top 200 is what gets all of the new money. That's where a lot of the investment comes from. And like when you just look at the investable projects right here, or just look at like the index, Bitcoin's making up 65% of it. But what I'm getting at here with this is that if this thing is down on the year, clearly this was not a bull market year, all right? Now, let's go back to looking at some projects here, or looking at some exact prices. Ethereum, probably one of the worst coins that you could possibly invest in. You know, or not actually, I can't say that because even though it's down, it's not as down as much as other projects. But here's what I'm thinking is like relative to its expectations, Ethereum is probably one of the worst things you could have invested in. You would have been disappointed this whole cycle. You would not have a single shred of hope this whole cycle because the one high that it did post was only 2% over its previous all-time high, over its previous cycle high. And Sui, they're getting kicked in the teeth here pretty bad. Because like Sui, I was kind of expecting this to end up being like a top 10 project. But I think when the real bull run gets going, it will be. But man, looking at like the beating it took today here, down 4.5%. World Liberty Finance, interestingly, is hanging on to that 14-cent price range. And when I see this hanging on and I see the official Trump token hanging on, well, I know that severe destruction is not headed here yet. Because, again, the way I look at it is that those coins are traded by the insiders over at the Trump administration. What else here? Any major movement? Yeah, there was one that had a very major movement today, and that was Root Network. I'm going to talk about that here because that is a very interesting story to me. How about in the RH Pulse Chain ecosystem? Still looks bad. Nothing good here to report yet. But even though everything else is having a really rough day, it's not too rough out here. It's pretty flat in the Pulse Chain ecosystem. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. I got to fix the sharing because I was just sharing the tab. I wasn't sharing my screen. Sorry, guys. Let me fix that. So, yes, here. Pulse Chain ecosystem. Don't look great, but it doesn't look as bad as the rest of the market. Yeah. Anything great happen in the news here? Anything worth discussing over here on CNBS? Yes, there was this story here, which I had alluded to earlier when I was first talking about that back in September. So I'll get to that story here in a moment about Adriana Kugler. And let's see, were there any other stories that were released here recently? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, so former Fed Governor Adriana Kugler violated trading rules while working at the central bank. Man, wasn't there a guy that told you about this way back in September when she first left? That, hey, there might be some insider trading going on here, and she stepped away from her position because had she wanted to hang on to it like Lisa Cook is doing, she definitely would have been in a lot of trouble because I think they got some very hard evidence on her. Whereas Lisa Cook, she thinks it's all bluff and she's trying to call the bluff. Former Federal Reserve Board Governor Adriana Kugler last year broke the central bank's rules barring of trading individual stocks and executing financial transactions close to meetings where interest rates are set. Actions led to her abrupt resignation. I wonder what stock she traded. Does it say here? I don't think it says. But, I mean, just you being a Fed governor and knowing what you know, that, I mean, there's a reason you have to have these blackout periods for them when they go into their meetings, and even like before. Okay, here we go. Apple, Southwest Airlines, Caterpillar, and Cava Group. All right. So, wonder, are they still going to go after her? I mean, I don't think they're going to go after her because, like, she's not at the Fed anymore. So, putting more energy into, like, convicting her or something, I think is a waste of time. Oh, and also, yeah, there's Raphael Bostic. I think we talked about him last stream. Is that he may have also violated some trading rules. So this guy, he's already retiring in February. Now, he's just a president. So Trump doesn't get to replace him or choose his replacement. You got to be a governor to have the president replace you. Now, here's what else is happening here. The New York Fed met with Wall Street firms about key lending facility. President John Williams met with some Wall Street dealers last week about a key lending facility, the Financial Times reports, citing 3 individuals familiar with the matter. The meeting included representatives from many of the 25 primary dealers from banks that underwrite the government's debt. And Williams sought feedback from these dealers on the use of the Fed's standing repo facility, a permanent lending tool that acts as a backstop for markets. Now, let me try to translate all of this here for you from bullcrap to English. The treasuries that the government issues, they got to meet with underwriting banks to create those bonds. You know, like if you watch the movie The Big Short, you see a little bit of the underwriting process when Christian Bale is going to all those different banks like Goldman Sachs and UBS and Deutsche Bank. He's meeting with underwriters because he wants them to create a security that he can use to short the housing market. Well, the U.S. government meets with underwriters as well to create these treasuries and then auction off those treasuries. The issue that we're having, particularly in the repo market, and it's just very short-term bonds. It's not like any big bond issuances that are happening. But what's happening there is that they're experiencing what you can call trade fails, meaning when these dealers are trying to execute orders for these banks that want to do repo, the trade is not successful in some of those orders. That is a problem. It's not a big problem yet, but it can become a really big problem if they are not right on top of it. So the Fed is on top of it by sending John Williams out to talk to all these banks that are participating, all these dealer banks that are participating in the repo market. But it's very sneaky. It's very suspicious in the sense of like they also did this back in 2008. And trade fails, they were experiencing trade fails back in 2019. What happens after 2008 and what happened after 2019? Quantitative easing, money printing. Not saying that that's going to happen again this time, but the pieces on the chessboard are lining up that way. Take a look at this here. The dollar index is still where it was from Friday, 99.321. No change there. And as far as the interest rates go, they haven't changed either. Let's refresh it here, make sure it's got Friday's close on it. Yeah, 4.14. Now, what's really going on here with all these markets is this here. It's the Fed Watch tool up on the CME. And not just the Fed Watch, but also like Kalshi and Polymarket. It shows it's more likely that the rates are going to be paused coming up at the next Fed meeting. But it's still too early to really say with any certainty because it's about 1 month away. You got another 25 days or so before it actually occurs because it's on December 10th. Now, here's what I'm thinking here is like, I'm thinking they do pause, and that causes problems later on down the line. Because what could happen, what they're risking by pausing, is the Fed now falls behind. The Fed is going to be behind the 8-ball as far as where they need to be with cutting rates going into 2026. Now, am I upset about them not cutting the rates? No, I'm not upset about it because here's the deal. These rate cuts have proven to be not all that great for crypto. It hadn't really helped the price any, and every time Jerome Powell gets up and speaks, it hurts the markets anyway. So if he's just going to get up there and say something bad when we're all expecting it to be bad, no harm done there. But if we're all expecting it to be bad and he gets up there and he says something good, well then that's when we may finally experience some changes in price action where things might start going good. All right. But if they cut again, well, then I don't expect anything good to happen from that. I don't. We'll get into the rest of today's content right here because, man, I got to call some people out. And very respected people in crypto I'm going to have to call out today. Yeah. And I don't think that they're going to like me after today's stream, but I don't care. But first, a little bit of housekeeping. If you want a copy of this book for free, I will give you a copy of this book for free. It's called Your Parents Were Wrong, Debunking and Replacing Outdated Advice. What advice are we talking about? We're talking about the extraordinarily stupid boomer advice like Bill Ackman gave out today. Matter of fact, let me just show it to you right now here. This is what Bill Ackman had to say today. He says, I hear from many young men that they find it difficult to meet young women in a public setting. In other words, online culture has destroyed the ability to spontaneously meet strangers. As such, I thought I would share a few words I used in my youth to meet someone that I found compelling. Bill, when was your youth? How many years ago was that? Here's what he says. He's telling you young men to say, may I meet you? That's his pickup line for you to go pick up girls with. He wants you to say, may I meet you? How many young guys we got in the chat here? You guys tell me, how good do you think that's going to go over if you say to a girl, may I meet you? All right? So I tell you what, all you young guys in the chat, I will gladly give you my best advice on that if you guys want it. You tell me in the chat if you want me to give it to you, like what I think is the best pickup line or opener or whatever. You tell me, I'll give it to you at the end of the show here, all right? But anyways, that's the dumb boomer advice I want to save you from. And how I can save you from that dumb boomer advice, get a copy of my book here, Your Parents Were Wrong. I will give it to you for free. All you got to do is head on over to my Substack, which is reinventideal.substack.com. I repeat, that's reinventideal.substack.com. And click right in the middle here where it says free gift. And then you just sign up and subscribe. And I will give you a free copy of that book. And I guarantee you, my book tells you not to say, may I meet you? What else is this here? It inevitably enabled the opportunity for further conversation. I met a lot of really interesting people this way. Oh, I'm sure you did. All right, so here's like why I bring this up here. Why am I talking about Bill Ackman's really bad advice is because he thinks there are simple rules that govern complex matters. Just like those four-year fundamentalists, they think there are simple rules that govern complex matters. I understand the desire for that. I was a noob just like everybody else. And when I was a noob, I wanted simple rules regarding complex matters. But you don't get that now, do you? Case in point, a lot of people believed in a very simple rule about Bitcoin's price and M2. Oh, Tom Crown. You guys tell me in the chat what y'all think of Tom Crown. You think he's a smart guy? Because I'll tell you what, I used to have a lot of respect for him. I've lost a lot of respect for him from this post here. He thinks now that Bitcoin and M2 was a scam. And he's not the only one. I mean, I've seen Ivan on Tech, who I got zero respect for. He's an incredibly stupid boy. He's posted this crap here before. I'm seeing a ton of other influencers or cringe-fluencers or thought leaders or key opinion leaders posting this crap all over Twitter. Oh my God! We were lied to! Bitcoin and M2 don't have a correlation! Here's what I gotta say about it here. No, dummy! You are seriously that dumb? Look closer at the chart. What M2 is it talking about? It's talking about global M2. What's the problem with using global M2? Anybody know? Anybody watching know? Anybody in the chat know? Why don't you guys let me know? What's the problem with using global M2 that you don't experience when you are using United States only M2? Anybody know? Because there is a very clear problem with it.
A legitimate question, young man, deserving a legitimate answer. Now then.
I bet if I asked Tom Crown and all the other people posting this, you know what answer I'd get from them? I'd get this. Because here's the problem with using global M2. It fails to account for currency exchange rates. You got to convert the foreign currencies that make up global M2 into dollars. And when you look at this chart, they're not doing that. All that they're doing is they're taking, whoa, how many Chinese yuans were printed? Okay, let's add that. How many Japanese yen were printed? Okay, let's add that in. How many euros were printed? Let's add that in. How many US dollars were printed? Okay, add that. That's global M2. And man, it's a really high number. But Bitcoin's not tracking along with it. What's going on here, Dords? Oh, gee, I don't know, Cletus. The problem, guys, is you have to factor in for currency exchange rates. And since you're not going to do that because it's just way too onerous and it's far too complex to put into these charts, and y'all are just frankly lazy, a better thing to do is just use United States M2. Because the China M2 is useless anyway, because the money that they print doesn't go into financial assets. It goes into their industrial economy. Macroeconomics is really hard now, isn't it, Tom? But if you look at US M2, which is the better measure that we have, looky here. Does that look like a perfect relationship to you? It looks pretty perfect to me, if you ask me now, especially more recently, because when we zoom in here, it's almost right neck and neck. So somebody clip this and share it with every dumb fool that you see on Twitter posting this stupid little graphic about, oh, the relationship between Bitcoin and M2 is severed. No, it's not severed. It's just you're not accounting for currency exchange rates when you use global M2 supply, you stupid economic illiterate morons, all right? And then after you post this, unfollow those idiots Because the only person you should be following and listening to is me, because I'm the only one that knows what's going on, apparently. Oh, Checks My Pulse has got a pickup line here for us. He says, best pickup line? Do you know how much a polar bear weighs? Just enough to break the ice. I was thinking something dirtier, actually. All right. So, this is something that I do not want you to get fudded out by. There's all these clowns that are going to fud their own bags with this stupid chart that they keep posting. I gotta tell you, man, you guys must be very charitable. Yeah. You guys got to be very charitable here, because what you're doing when you post this crap is you're encouraging people to sell at these low prices. And who are they selling to? They're selling to good old Larry Fink at BlackRock, and good old Abigail Johnson at Fidelity. In fact, you may as well also send a full carton of cigarettes to Abigail Johnson, because I'm pretty sure she's flicking the bean at the beautifully low prices that you're selling your Bitcoin to her for. Moving on from that, the M2 piss information going on. We want to talk about this here, which is giving me a little bit of hope that some people are starting to get it. Now, before I get into this here, let's take a look at the market here again and see the absolute bloodbath and drama that's going on here, because we're going to look at this a little bit coin by coin here, by the way. And oh my God, it's so horrible. Crypto forgot that it's 2025. And it forgot that it's on a 4-year schedule of when it's supposed to go up. Oh, and the whole market's just got to sell because they just have never been told these 2 simple words that are 4 syllables long.
Control yourself!
You made Margaret Qualley cry. How can you do that? She's such a nice, sweet little girl. And you made her yell and scream. It was like, there was a cartoon that was like that. I think it was on the Animaniacs. It was called Katie Kaboom, where she was like this really moody teenager. And it's always like, hey, little lady Katie, she goes kaboom. That's exactly what this was like here, right? But here is what's really happening behind the scenes and behind the screens, if you will. What's really happening is this. Now, take a look here at this chart, because it really shows you the cycles as we've understood them for the past 3 times, even though there's not been 3 Bitcoin cycles, actually. I can't really talk too much about this here yet, because I'm waiting for one of my detractors to debate me on this subject. But there's been more than 3 Bitcoin cycles, actually. Well, here's the deal. When you see this pattern, and you are like any other noob out there that wants simple rules for complex matters, you might look at that and go, oh, dang, we get 3 good years, then we get a bad year. And you might think to yourself, oh, what? Is it really that easy? I mean, are there no other far more intelligent people in this market that are placing orders and trades and moving capital around? Are they all really that simple-minded, going, oh, it's the 3rd year, the rates have been going up? Or is it possible that some traders, some investors go, hey, man, you know what I'm going to do here? Everybody is thinking 2025 is going to be the big year where everything blows off. So I'll get in before then, and then I'll get out in 2025. Well, this gentleman right here, Hunter Horsley, is also like me in making that observation. So good on you, Hunter. He says, common view, people believe in 4-year cycles and that 2026 will thus be a down year for Bitcoin. First order effect, people thus sell in 2025 to avoid the down market year. Second order effect, the 2025 sellers cause 2025 to be a down year, thus breaking the 4-year cycles. Third order effect, 2026 is open season, 4-year cycles broken. Thank you, Hunter. This is what I've been saying. If you knew 2025 would be the super parabolic blow off top year, and if you knew 2026 was going to be the downward suck year, doesn't this create something kind of like the butterfly effect, where your knowledge of what's going to happen in the future alters the future? Because what you would do then is you would buy in 2023 like many people did, and that's why 2023 was such a good year to be holding crypto. You would probably also buy in 2024, which many people did, which is why 2024 was such a good year in crypto. And then you would probably sell in 2025 to make sure that you avoid the bad year in 2026, which a lot of people are doing, which is why 2025 has been a suck year. And it's been a year now that has a net negative return. It didn't have it when he posted this year. It was still up 14%. In Bitcoin, but now it is a net negative, not just in the entire crypto market capitalization, but also in Bitcoin. It has been a net negative year. Why is this hard for so many people, particularly respected KOLs, to understand that? Why is it hard? I mean, I know you guys want simple rules for complex matters, but can you guys think more than 5 minutes ahead of you? This makes the most sense here to me. Now, let's look at the market to confirm it. All right? We'll come back to Bitcoin and Ethereum later, because you see, the thing with those is that those two have had ETFs all year long, and they've had treasury companies all year long. But let's have a peek here at XRP and see how this guy's been doing. Does this look like it's having a bull market year? Now, we got to go where the year actually started, which this chart doesn't quite do. Let's see, it's up $2.32. Okay. So now it's down a little bit here from that. Not that bad. Not that bad, man. It's certainly in much better shape than it was last year. It was last year it got really kicked in the teeth. Or actually, there's an easier way to do this here. Hang on. Let's go look at the entire market. And let me add in my column here, the year-to-date percent, and apply the changes. All right, so what is up year-to-date? Okay, well, not Ethereum. It's down. Bitcoin is flat. XRP, well, that one is actually up year-to-date here, 6%. BNB up 30%. But Solana, boy, that's been the darling this cycle. Everybody's been loving on Solana, but it's down 27%. Tron up 14%. Dogecoin down 50%. Cardano down 42%. Zcash having quite a run, so is Hyperliquid. Does this look like a bull market to you here, though, where in the top 10 of a very top-heavy market, it's pretty much 50-50 on whether the coin has gone up or down for the year? Chainlink down 31% for the year, and that's a pretty respected project. Monero is another one that's up because of like the whole privacy trade that's going on. Let's take a look at this here. Litecoin, like it has resurfaced and found a bid recently, or throughout like the past, not the past year, but the year before. But it's still down 7%. Avalanche down 57%. Hedera down 45%. Sui down 59% when this has been such a darling. Shiba Inu, that's crap, we don't care. Polkadot, that's crap, we don't care. Uniswap is still down 45%, even though it caught a bid recently. Toncoin down 66%. Chronos down 22%. And this is just a year to date. This is not since the previous cycle. So the whole cycle, a lot of these coins are still down. Because you see this column here, this shows you how far it's down from the previous cycle. So it's as if we never even started a new one when you'll take a look at how much stuff here is actually down 90% or more, or real close to it. Near Protocol, the AI narrative. along with BitTensor is part of the AI narrative. I gotta tell you something. I am sick to death of hearing the word narrative. Anybody else sick of it? Because to me, all you imbeciles out there that are using the word like it is something meaningful here, going, oh, well, the narrative is this. Oh, no, the narrative is that. What you idiots have probably never heard in your entire life is that narrative follows price, not the other way around. We weren't even talking about Zcash until the price of it did something. That proves my point. Narrative follows price. So, guys, please stop using the word narrative and just shut up when you're trying to come up with reasons for like why this coin is trading as good as it is, because you only do it after the trades have occurred and after the price action has gone a certain way. That's it. It's not because, oh, well, we value privacy now, so we're going to go trade Zcash. No, what's happening is a lot of people traded Zcash, and now you all are convincing yourselves that it's because they value privacy now. Take a look at this here. Like, if we go further down the chart here, like down into like the midsection of it, everything is pretty much 60% down or more, or close to 60% down. And even Ondo, one of Larry Fink's favorite projects here, has taken quite a beating. Filecoin has had everything in the world going for it. Not only is it down 99% from the previous cycle, but it's down 60% year to date. And you're telling me we had a bull market? Some people have really tried to convince you, oh yeah, 2025 was a bull run year. No, if anything, it was the start of the bear market, which is what I'm trying to tell everyone. Render, another one that had a lot of good juice behind it. Down 85% on the cycle, 70% for the year. Now, here's what I really do want to kind of get across here. We can do the 1 year chart, and this will make the point. Because when you take a look at the 1 year chart, from November 17th all the way up to December 17th, this wasn't the highest that we ever got, but do you remember what it was like for most coins back then? Just about everything was going up. When we look at not just Bitcoin, but we'll look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana. How were those guys doing back at the end of 2024? I mean, look at this here. This is almost a parabolic run for Ethereum, which is incredible. Like, I feel like we haven't experienced that in a whole 5 years. Look at this here. This nice candle that took it from 2,000 all the way up to 3,000, then up to 4,000, all within just a few weeks. That's normal for bull markets. So that's normal bull market action, and it occurred at the end of 2024. How about Bitcoin? What was that doing at the end of the year? Look at this. Now, this is super parabolic action to go from, we got to go a little bit further back here. That's 24. I got to go up forward here. From November the 3rd to December 17th. Does this not look like parabolic action to go from a low of 67,000 to 106,000 in just 45 days? That's something you normally see at the height of a bull market cycle. I mean, we're talking about a price gain of just about $40,000 in 45 days. It was putting $1,000 a day on the board, sometimes more than that. And you're telling me that was not the end. You're telling me, oh no, that was just the start. I mean, in a bull market, we don't get the parabolic top at the beginning. We get it at the end. This was the end. Take a look at XRP experiencing the exact same thing. Here's November the 4th, 2024. Look at this. It goes all the way up from 50 cents to $2.71. It just found its way in a very short period of time after trading at like 50 cents for years. Immediately in December or in November, December, the thing starts popping off and going crazy. And it's kind of stayed right there for most of the time. Like the highest it ever got was in January, which is still right around this time here, which is like what you would expect for alt seasons to kind of last maybe up to another month after the big parabolic run. So at the top and the end of the alt season that we got, it was at $3.27. I mean, this just proves the point. If you're not getting the point here by now, I can't help you. Look at Solana. Exact same thing. Like it has this big parabolic pop-off going from 157 to 255, so it just beat the previous cycles, this previous cycle high. And then during the height of the alt season that ended in January, goes up to 261. These are incredible parabolic green candles that are characteristic of bull market over. This is characteristic of what happens when it is the end of the bull market. So what I'm getting at here is 2024 is when this cycle officially ended, and 2025, this year, the whole year has been the bear market year where everything sucks. Now, you might say, well, that was just those coins. I don't believe you. Well, let's look at some of the other coins in the market. How about we look at another project like ASI or Fetch? Fetch AI. It's got the exact same thing going on here. It had an incredible run happen at the end of last year. Now, of course, the chart won't load. You can see it here. Goes from, it was already trading higher. It goes from like $1.28 all the way up to $2.13, which is an incredible price for this coin. And now it's down 70% or almost 80% there. Take a look at Sonic, which launched right at that time. Sonic had launched right as the right as that altcoin season was ending. And you can see here, it's been nothing but downhill for Sonic ever since. This is characteristic of a bear market. That's what it's been all year for Sonic. You take a look at everything in the RH ecosystem. Let's take a look at Hex on Pulse Chain. It's the exact same story. It was having a really good run up here. It had gotten up to 3 cents on December the 8th from being much lower throughout the entire year. And it has a very good run where it gains a lot in price in a very short amount of time. And then it's been down all year because, say it with me, 2025 was the bear market year. This is all the proof you need if you just want to look at this and say, oh, no, you're wrong, Cairo, 4-year cycle still on. I can't help you, all right? You don't want to believe your very eyes? Then don't believe your very eyes. Because the way I'm looking at this here, it just proves my point. Take a look at this chart here on Bitcoin. Exact same thing going on. Only thing that's different with this one here is that this is Bitcoin priced in gold. So if you price it in gold, Bitcoin has been in a bear market all year long. It only tapped above its previous high priced in gold. And you're thinking here, oh, we had a great bull run. I mean, we went from 16,000 to 126,000. That was the bull run. You think that that's even a fraction of what Bitcoin is capable of doing? Especially when you look at it priced in gold, which in traditional finance, we do that with a lot of assets regularly so that we can purify the gains from any gains that are due purely to inflation. Also, this going on here. Look at how often 2025 was spent in greed, or not greed, fear, on the fear and greed index Most of it was spent in fear, or a big chunk of it, about half the year was spent in fear. I mean, I can count about 4 months in total on this chart that shows we were in the fear territory. And I'm pretty sure that all of December is going to be in fear territory as well. We just hit extreme fear now. And probably going to be leaving extreme fear by the end of the month. And then in December, we'll still be in fear. Does that happen in bull market years or in bear market years? You tell me. All right. Oh, yeah, this here. Larry Fink says that crypto is going to 15 trillion this cycle. Now, a big chunk of that will be stable coins. As if they repatriate just half of the euro dollars out there, well, the stable coins is going to be what absorbs most of it. But still, when you look at the investable projects to go to like 7 trillion, that is practically a little over a 2x from where it's at right now, which we can 100% do that. All right. Larry Fink does not lose money. Abigail Johnson does not lose money. If you sell out now, you're really just giving your assets over to these guys. You're handing them your coins. And believe me, Larry Fink, he's jerking off at the idea of you handing him his coins at these low prices. And we know what Abigail Johnson is doing. So after you sell, make sure you send them a carton of cigarettes because they're going to need it from what they're going to be doing as you are selling out there. All right. Now, here's another thing we got to talk about. There is a dissenter out there who you may know, Sergey Baranov. He is, I don't want to call him a hater because, I didn't call him a hater, but he certainly doesn't have much love for the Hex and Pulse Chain ecosystem. And what he's saying here in this post is that it's a severe nihilism right here. I mean, he's very upset that the price hasn't gone up here, and he wants these issues. He wants these issues addressed here. Now, here's like what really set me off though. Is like he's aligning with Jail Rat Crypto or B Roots. I mean, the top two on that list there are complete scumbags. So why you're wanting to associate yourself with them? I mean, I would just. If these are your complaints here and you want these to be taken as legitimate complaints, don't tag Jail Rat and B Roots because they ain't smart guys. But here's what he's upset about is that he's saying, well, let's see, we need to address these issues about buying at the top and dilution of value. I guess what he's saying for buying at the top is buying Ethereum and dilution of value. I mean, the dilution of value is what? The fact that the Hex contract just constantly inflates. I mean, all that matters is it inflating less than fiat money? Reluctance to support Pulse Chain ecosystem. So that's something that I definitely want to talk to them about. Self-sabotage and damage to the brand through outrage marketing. Did the outrage marketing really hurt, or did it help it last time? Blocking loyal supporters who ask legitimate questions. Well, what you're talking about there is probably Corey Costa. And to be honest with you, I would block him too if I were Richard, just because of the piss information that Corey Costa was spreading. Launching new projects while neglecting existing ones. I mean, I think the new projects he's launching are to support the existing ones. Public behavior that appears hostile, dismissive, and arrogant. Have you seen the things being said to him? So he posted this here on X, and so I responded. I said, I invited every one of you haters on my stream to discuss this, and every single one of you have said no. You guys have seen me try to invite all these haters, every multiple hater out there, every one of them. I said, please come on this stream. Let's talk. Let's discuss it for the benefit of the audience. I'll go on mute when you're talking so that you get to say exactly what you want to say, and then I'll challenge it. But none of them will say yes. So what I see is that none of these people are really interested in having an honest discussion. They're not interested in hearing information that's going to nuke their incorrect views. They just want confirmation of what they've already decided to believe and what they've already decided to do. And they want permission to do what they've already decided to do, which is sell. So I'm telling you guys, go ahead and sell because there's at least another 6 months of red candles across the board for crypto. And imagine how many more negative posts that we're going to see. I mean, you guys are being more emotional than teenage girls are being. You guys are being So, oh, I can't. Richard betrayed us. Richard abandoned us. You guys are acting like high school girls that can't get a date to the dance. That's how you guys are acting here. I mean, do you not understand what it is you bought and why you bought it? You guys probably wanted simple rules to govern complex matters. You thought to yourselves, oh, I'll buy it now, and in 2025, where that's the fourth year of the bull run, it will go up and I'll be rich. That's what you all thought, apparently. Guys, it is not that easy. You got to hold on much longer. And the asset that we're talking about, Hex, was meant to be held on longer. That's what the whole point of the staking mechanism was. Well, Sergey has responded. And he, first, he didn't like what I had to say here. But he has agreed that he will come on stream. All right? So he says, I'll let you know when I'm available. So I'm not going to talk too much trash. I'm not going to talk any trash about him yet. All right? And I don't want to do that. When somebody says they agree to come on stream with me, then I will have a lot of respect for them. So I got a lot of respect for Sergey if he follows through on what he said there and that he's going to come on stream and we can have this discussion. We'll address every single one of his points about why he's so upset about the RH ecosystem underperforming, even though the entire market has been underperforming. And I can prove that, but we're going to hear him out on it, and then I will challenge his views. And I'm not going to talk trash about it if he actually comes on, because I don't talk trash about anybody that comes on with me. Got nothing but good things to say about Pedro. Got nothing but good things to say about T-Bird. And if Sergey comes on, I'll have nothing but good things to say about him. But I am going to really challenge and push him on all of these views that Richard apparently needs to do something to make the coin pump. And see, this whole get the founder do something is just a new version of get the devs do something. Like, no, it is not their job to be pumping your bags. All right, so hopefully this does happen, and hopefully I get a DM from him that says, oh yeah, I'm willing to come on these days here, and we'll make it happen. Now, here's what I got to say about the overall market underperforming. See, everybody's really upset about Hex and Pulse Chain underperforming. Because, last time, Hex did incredible. We had the 10,000X last time, and we're thinking, oh, we should get that this time. Because, again, simple rules for complex matters is 2025, and in 2025, it should be the height of the bull run. And you know what else should happen?
It's all coming back.
That's what everybody expected for this year in particular, that it would all just magically come back because it's 2025, and it didn't. And everyone thinks, well, that just proves that Hex and Pulse Chain are defective, and they're going to be dead, and those projects will never go up again, right? Well, I can understand y'all's disappointment in the performance here. I think the problem is that you guys wanted simple rules to govern complex matters, and you were thinking that it really was that easy, that in 2025 it was just going to be a bull market year, without even coming to a realization and respecting what actually does cause bull runs in the first place. Because every time I ask you guys what causes it, you guys can't tell me. You know what I get? What I get is this. I was like, guys, you got to know what actually causes it. It's not time. But what if I told you this here? What if there was this other coin that it had a great, great run last time. So you knew it was capable of doing very, very well, because it has done very well. And unlike us, it's not gate kept at all. No gatekeeping at all. In fact, every mainstream crypto streamer completely approves of it. And they approve of it so much that whenever they have the founder on, they don't ask him any tough questions. In fact, they suck him off every time that he's on their stream. Every mainstream crypto streamer. Even the mainstream media, like CNBC, takes it seriously. And it has its own ETF. The institutions love it. In fact, one institution in particular is a treasury company for it. But so far this cycle, that coin has failed to perform like it did last cycle. It has failed to exceed the previous cycle high, except for one time where it got just 2% above that previous cycle high. What coin am I talking about? I'm talking about Ethereum. What I described, is that not a perfect description of what's going on in Ethereum? Absolutely, it is. So if that's happening with Ethereum, the number 2 altcoin, what in God's name makes you think that anything after the number 2 altcoin is going to do exceptionally well? Right? The number 2 coin in all of crypto is struggling despite having everything in the world on its side, despite having zero gatekeeping. All of the institutions, ETFs, everybody's behind it. The mainstream media is behind it. Mainstream crypto is 100% behind it, but Ethereum is still sucking. Why on earth would you ever expect anything after Ethereum to be doing exceptionally well when Ethereum is too busy sucking? That is unrealistic expectations, and that's what I'm going to bring to Sergey's attention if I get him on stream. Like, how in the heck can you expect anything outside of Ethereum that is gate-kept, that is not celebrated by the mainstream, that has no institutions behind it? How can you expect it to outperform when Ethereum itself cannot outperform or even do half as good as it did last time? And that's a question that a lot of those haters out there struggle with, and they don't want to be asked. And that's why they chicken out of debates and live streams with me. Sergey, I hope you're a stand-up guy, and if you are, I will sing your praises if you come on stream with me. But until then, all I got to say to everybody out there is this.
Control yourself!
All right. Now, there's one last thing here that I wanted to share with everybody here today. Let me find it here and everything. Let's see, somebody. No, okay. I think I might have covered it already. But, yeah, we got a major bloodbath going. Oh, yeah, there was one last thing here to talk about, and that was the Root Network. If you haven't been familiar with this here, I mean, you guys should find this very encouraging and very, this put a smile on your face. This coin right here, the only one that's got some green going on here is this one, the Root Network. What is the Root Network? Now, CoinMarketCap, actually, I don't know what the heck is going on with CoinMarketCap, but they have been displaying incorrect prices for a lot of assets out there. Because, you see, I saw the big pop-off today. I went to go trade it. The price is actually higher than 0015. It's actually 002. CoinGecko has it properly here, which is this. Let's refresh it so we got the most up-to-date price. 002337. Incredible, because this coin has been sucking for a long time. All year long, it's been sucking. It's done nothing but gone down. Like the highest it ever was here. Making my point again, in December, when the bull market ended, it was 0.047. Now it is less than a penny. The highest price that I think it ever had was 12 cents. That was its, it might have like had a candle wick above that, right? It says 13 cents here on CoinGecko. And what's it say over here? It actually says 46 cents over here on CoinMarketCap. When did it do that, though? I mean, maybe it was launched at a high price and wicked up. Yeah, it might have wicked up at launch there, but it had been down ever since, except for a little bit of a pop that it got in March of 2024, which I would also say that since 2024 was our final bull market year, we actually got a double top there because a lot of coins were doing really good in March and April of 24, and they were doing really good again in December of 2024. that tells me, hey, it was a double top. The market has one top here, it has another top there, and then that's the end of the bull market. 2025, looking at this chart here, was the bear market year because Root, along with many other coins, it started out at 3.5 cents, and now it's down dramatically to less than a penny. But look at this here. It's had an incredible run in the last day, up 92% on the day, and really, like on the week here, it's up almost 200%. How is this possible? What in the heck is going on with this Root thing? Because this is a gaming token, or this is from GameFi, and GameFi has had it the worst this entire cycle. They have sucked more than anything else. I mean, you want to talk about like, Hex getting kicked in the balls, and Pulse Chain getting kicked in the balls, and Sonic getting kicked between the legs. GameFi has had it a whole lot worse. It's been one of the saddest, sorriest things to watch for GameFi. It's really, it's hard to watch sometimes even. But why am I talking about this here? Well, it seems to have gotten a little bit of a bid here lately. It seems to be that
It's all coming back.
I mean, it's still way too early to tell, and it has a lot of ground to make up before we can say that. But how did it happen? Well, let's look at the stats here. Because when we look at the stats, I mean, it has a very small market cap, only $7 million. I mean, in TradFi, if you saw a stock with just a $7 million market cap, you would not want to go anywhere near that. Now, when we look at the fully diluted valuation, it says $28 million is what it could be. But here's like the thing that kind of gets a lot of people to stay away is that circulating supply is only 25% of the total supply that it could have. There are a lot of token unlocks that could be coming in the future here, right? I think they don't show it on CoinMarketCap, but there's a lot of token unlocks or a lot more inflation yet to come here on this coin because it has a total supply of 12 billion. Only 3 billion right now is circulating. But here's how it's able to go from, let's see, about a day ago it was trading at 0005 and it got up to a high of 0027. So this thing darn near 6x'd in just a day. How does that happen? I'll tell you exactly how it happens. Low liquidity. And the way I noticed this here is, what I like to trade is what I call the penny coins, which are just coins that trade for less than $1. Their price is strictly in cents. And that's also why I'm in Hex and Pulse Chain, is because it's got nothing to do with the founder. Everybody's like, well, I'm in it because I believe in Richard Hart. And then other people are saying, I bought these coins because I believed in Richard Hart, and he's not doing the work I thought he was going to do. Me, I don't even care if Richard ever comes back, if he ever streams again. In fact, I'm going to have some numbers on that for the next stream, like how it's not going to do anything even when he does stream again. But I don't care. That's not why I'm in it. I'm in it because it is a penny coin with low liquidity, and we call those pumpamentals because when you have a very low price and very low liquidity, any new liquidity, no matter how small it is, moves that price up way, way higher. That's all that there is to this game, guys. And that was the case here with the Root network. It had an extremely tiny amount of liquidity. I know that there's a big dumb jerk out there that tried to tell me I was wrong because he's got Binance Pro. And according to Binance Pro, there's plenty of liquidity out there. But he's wrong because according to Glassnode and according to the Bloomberg terminal, there is not much liquidity at all in crypto. I'm right. Everyone else is wrong. That's the end of the story. And this chart proves it. That's how the Root network was able to pop. All right? And that's also going to be the case with the other penny coins, Hex, Pulse Chain, all of those coins, because they are very low prices and very low liquidity. It takes very, very little to get it to go. And this pump could sustain for a long time. I mean, they tried bringing it down, as you can kind of see on the chart. There were some people that were holding out and was like, oh man, we have made some of the money back. I'm going to sell now. And so they did sell, but then more people came in and bought. And then there were some sellers, and there's more sellers here. But then more people came in and bought. This pump could sustain for a while, because what happens is other people see these green candles, and when everything else is red, they're just like, oh man, I got to make some money right now, so let me go into this one thing that is making money. And Root, by the way, the Root network is a supporting asset for the rest of GameFi, so this could possibly turn things around for GameFi. Too early to tell right now, but it could happen. And I hope it does happen, because I look at you guys out there in GameFi and I see how badly you guys have been hurt and everything. It's been very hard to watch. Like, I'm not a sadist. I hate those horror movies that are you'd consider torture porn. That's what it's been like watching you guys in GameFi get your shirts handed to you. So I really do hope that
It's all coming back.
All right. So I wanted to do this here tonight just because everything I'm seeing, like the thing Tom Crown posted about the whole, the relationship with them too and Bitcoin's been broken. No, it's not, you dumb idiot. I had to get that off my chest. And the whole Bill Ackman thing, I had to get that off my chest. All right, here's my pickup line, all right? Guaranteed to get a drink thrown in your face. Here's what you say as a pickup line. You go up to the girl and be like, hey, you like Mountain Dew? Because I'd like to Mountain Dew you. That's what I gotta tell you guys there. Because, like, if you want better stuff than that, you need to buy one of my old books that I wrote on the subject, or you need to book a coaching call with me. I do not give out free advice when it comes to that stuff, all right? On that note, though, I can really help you out if you are a struggling young man, because that is what I used to do all the time. But that's everything I have to say here for today, guys. Hopefully Sergey does come on stream. If you're on Twitter, then go ahead and encourage him to come on stream, because I promise you that will be a very informative discussion where you guys will get to see both sides of the argument, and you'll get to learn a lot here if you haven't learned enough already. And it seems like the rest of crypto, with everybody coming to the conclusion that 2025 was the bear market year, it seems that a lot of people, I'm getting a lot of hope here. I don't know if this is dangerous. I'm starting to get some hope. I'm getting a lot of hope that people are now starting to wake up and see that I was right all along. Incredible. I hope that is how it plays out right here. But brace yourselves, guys. Brace yourselves. Because here's the serious part of the program. 2025, the rest of this year, is gonna suck. Absolute suck. It's gonna suck more than Jenna Jameson did in her last professional career. But you just got to hang in there, all right? Because it will get uglier. The prices will go lower. And there could be a whole nother 6 months of red candles. But once we get it all behind us, it's really hard for the people who sold and left the space to hurt the chart even more. That's why Richard said, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid right off with what he was doing. You want to get the people that can hurt the chart to do the hurt right now so they can't do it again tomorrow. That's all that's going on. So, until next time. This is Cairo Copeland, signing off. That is it for us today, you glorious degens. Smash that subscribe button to join the rebellion, and follow me on X at ReinventIdeal for more unfiltered truth bombs between live streams. And if this was your first time listening, head over to reinventideal.substack.com, because I have a free gift waiting for you there. If you become a free subscriber, you'll get a free copy of my book, Your Parents Were Wrong, Debunking and Replacing Outdated Advice, packed with the wisdom to outsmart the system. It's absolutely free to join, so no excuses. Grab it before the suits catch on. And remember, the bears get blocked right here and told to shut the FUD up.